Tonight's summer sizzle. How many heat records were set over the weekend and how long the sky-high temperatures might last. Also tonight, mind the curb.
I think it's phenomenal.
I think it's kind of dangerous.
How many more traffic calming structures are going up across the city as drivers give mixed reviews. Plus, a former MP charged.
It's expected to take several weeks for investigators to document the large collection of evidence gathered at the residence.
How Inky Mark became implicated in a firearms trafficking investigation and how many charges he's now facing.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Hendricks. Marilee is away. Manitobans sizzled under intense heat this weekend, with the scorching summer temperatures breaking more than half a dozen records on Sunday. Now, according to Environment and Climate Change Canada, 7 communities experienced their hottest July 12th on record. Carberry and Gretna each beat heat records that were set back in 1969 at 34.7 and 35.8 degrees respectively. Fisher Branch bested its record set in 1979. Grand Rapids and Portage la Prairie both eked out new records by less than a degree. McCreary and Shoal Lake also beat records that were set back in 1979 and 1964 by much wider margins. And the weather agency says Gillam, Gimli, Kleefeld, and Swan River all tied their previous heat records. And some roads and highways are also suffering under the intense heat. Crews could be seen working on this buckled road in the Polo Park area this afternoon. A spokesperson for the city says they don't track calls for buckled roads specifically, but they added that emergency maintenance crews haven't been able to keep up with the demand for heat-buckled roads and sidewalks.
Well, it's really difficult to predict where on a roadway it will happen because it depends on many conditions like traffic and what's going on underneath and the condition of the concrete to begin with, and whether there's curves in the road.
And a portion of the Perimeter Highway was also shut down this morning for the same reason. The province says concrete buckling happened on at least 7 highways yesterday, including stretches of Highway 75, 59, 7, and 8. A spokesperson says our highways are cut at certain intervals to give the concrete room to expand in the summer heat. However, pavement buckling can happen when there isn't enough room to expand, such as when the joints become filled with materials like sand and dust. And the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says 3 care homes in the city are currently without central air conditioning. A spokesperson says a mechanical issue at Middle Church Home is being fixed as quickly as possible, with air conditioning in common rooms and portable equipment being used to offer some relief. Temporary air conditioners have been installed at Donwood Personal Care Home following flood-related damage last month, and air conditioners have been put on each floor of Pembina Place Personal Care Home to offset some of the AC issues there. CTV's Taylor Brock joins us now with a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. An incredibly hot weekend, and it's still really hot.
That's for sure, John. It actually feels a whole lot today like it felt yesterday. Temperatures yesterday reached a high of 35 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, here in Winnipeg at about 5 o'clock, we reached a high of 34 degrees Celsius, feeling like 46, whereas on Sunday, the hottest it felt like was 48. Temperatures continue to be quite hot, not just here in Winnipeg, but across the province as well. Let's take a look here. So in the south, as you know, we're under an extreme heat warning because of these temperatures. While things will slightly cool off, temperatures hovering around the high of 28 degrees Celsius throughout the week. In the north, temperatures are expected to get actually a little warmer, reaching that 30-degree mark for folks. So make sure you are staying nice and cool as you can, and we'll chat more about what the rest of the week could look like here in Winnipeg.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Right now, as mentioned, it's actually slightly cooler than the high of 35 degrees Celsius. Now it's 34, but still feeling like 45. We are seeing a few clouds in the sky with light winds, pressure rising, and humidity at 56%.
Thanks, Taylor. People in the city of Brandon can breathe a sigh of relief. The Assiniboine River, which flows through the city, has peaked and stabilized.
The river levels are forecasted to remain high for a few days before a slow decline begins.
Brandon's Mayor Jeff Fawcett says the river peaked overnight at 1,179.49 feet. Now, he says as long as there's no additional rainfall, it's expected that the river will stay at its current level for a bit. Manitoba's second largest city has been preparing for the rising water over the past week by deploying sandbags and tiger dams so they can protect residents and infrastructure. But just because Brandon's preparation efforts have put it in a good position, that doesn't mean that it is fully out of the woods just yet. Fawcett says that some of the most dangerous times for residents comes after peak levels have been reached.
As floodwaters withdraw, riverbanks can become unstable due to erosion, saturated ground can give way unexpectedly, and damage to flood protection measures may not always be immediately visible. Areas that appear safe may still present significant risk even when water levels are dropping. So fast-moving water remains dangerous. Debris can emerge, erosion can weaken shorelines, dikes, and nearby infrastructure.
Evacuation notices were issued for areas around the river last week, but no evacuation orders are currently in effect. City crews are continuing to monitor all areas that have been impacted by high water levels, and Brandon remains in a state of emergency. Some experts say the way these powerful storms have formed has been unusual as compared to other years.
It's a little unusual to see weather systems sort of form and decay right over top of the prairies, all in the same area, and rather slow moving. So this has probably helped contribute to some of what we've seen.
Slow-moving storm systems have dumped excessive rain and large hail over southern and western Manitoba, allowing a severe weather to linger over the same areas for longer periods of time. Now, as an example, data from Environment and Climate Change Canada shows almost 270 millimeters of rain fell in Swan River in western Manitoba in June, an astonishing amount that the town hasn't seen in 100 years. Some scientists say Manitoba's recent storms fit a pattern of climate that researchers have warned about for decades. As temperatures rise, the atmosphere holds on to lots of moisture, creating conditions for heavier rainfall and more intense extreme weather.
Unless we curtail our emissions as a species very, very quickly, we're looking forward to much more severe, believe it or not, events in the future, more frequent, more severe, and longer lasting.
Forecasters say the threat of severe weather is not over, as conditions could persist for the next few weeks. An update on a wildfire burning near a First Nation in northern Manitoba. OPCN's chief says about 12,000 hectares have burned. All but 71 essential community members were evacuated on July 7th, with members now in Winnipeg, Brandon, and Thompson. Manitoba Hydro says around 30 poles are damaged and will need to be inspected to determine a repair timeline. OPCN's leadership says Hydro needs to do more to mitigate future power problems.
There is a lot of preparedness that Manitoba Hydro has to do in order to prevent forest fires, and they know. And they promised us that they would help, like clear cutting, preparing these poles to prevent, but that support has never been there. And in situations like this, even the supports within the community, it seems like they're the last department to act.
Manitoba Hydro says it has fire mesh wrapped around 150 poles near the First Nation, and community members were hired to cut trees where safe to do so. It says there are plans to do more work. Hydro also tells CTV News that crews will work to restore power to the community as quickly as possible, but the wildfires and shifting winds are making the area unsafe at this time. The city is expanding a pilot project aimed at slowing down speeders near schools and crosswalks. Now, last year, the temporary curb cuts were installed at a number of locations. Now, the calming measures are being built at 9 new sites. CTV's Jeff Keel joins us now live from one of those intersections. So, Jeff, what do these all look like?
Well, John, I'll show you. This is one of the designs here, and it's at the end of Edmonton Street where it meets Cumberland. And you can see it's sort of like a circle. The whole idea of this is it narrows the lanes to slow down traffic. But we can tell you that the drivers we spoke to were split on this. Some really liked them, others weren't as calm.
You might see an odd-looking structure like this popping up on the side or right in the middle of the street.
Well, what they gonna do here?
These are temporary traffic calming devices meant to curb speed. The city installed some at select locations last year, and now they're doing 9 more this summer at Jefferson and Roberts Crescent, Flora and King, Main and Dufferin, Talbot and Elmwood, Cumberland and Edmonton, River Avenue near Arctic, Westminster and Ethelbert, John Forsyth and South St. Vital Trail, and South Glen Boulevard and Hurt Crescent.
This whole movement of traffic calming on older design streets is new and emerging.
The city says the curb cuts, as they are known, are placed near schools and crosswalks, where speeding and collisions are a problem, where intersections have wide corners, and at crosswalks with poor visibility. They say speed dropped by 10% on average at last year's installation sites, so some are welcoming the added locations like this one on South Glen.
I think it's phenomenal. I walk down here with my kids all the time, going to the playground. No one stops at this crosswalk, so it's just not enough.
It's a lot of traffic and a lot of congestion, so I think it's a good idea. It keeps the students safe.
But other drivers, as well as a number of people online, worry the new measures may be hazardous.
All of a sudden it's there, and then there's people coming the other way too, so I think it's an accident waiting to happen.
Actually, it's not supposed to be here. Like, yeah.
You don't like it?
Yeah, actually, I don't like it.
Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke says where it's determined the curb cuts are not working, they will look at something else, like a speed hump. And where they are slowing traffic down, permanent measures will be built when the road is renewed.
This is what the city's doing, these pilots, to see what works and what doesn't. And before we permanently build it in,
The city says after a year of this, it received less than 10 complaints, and a third of the calls were for people actually requesting it. Now, I do want to point out, though, John, since I've been standing here, this is the lane that cars are supposed to go this way, but some have been turning off of Cumberland this way instead of going all the way around. So there has been a bit of confusion with this design at this location, and we've only been here for about 15 minutes.
So, Jeff, when will we know if some of these sites are going to be getting the permanent measures put in place?
Yeah, we could know more this fall. Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke says that's when there's an annual report coming out that could have more information.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Stay safe out there. A former Manitoba member of Parliament is facing a litany of charges after Mounties allegedly found a trove of firearms at his home. RCMP released these photos showing some of the 439 guns that were seized from the home in Dauphin last Tuesday. They also found an antique cannon, ammunition, and more than $300,000 in cash. Investigators say it will take several weeks to document all the evidence, but so far, they believe 3 of the guns had been illegally trafficked. 1 had its serial number tampered with, and most were improperly stored.
So this investigation origins date back to March 23rd, 2026, when RCMP were notified that firearms charges had been laid in the United States against a 73-year-old Dauphin area male. This prompted a further RCMP investigation that resulted in more charges being laid against that individual. While executing a search warrant for that file, the RCMP found and seized firearms that were purchased by a second suspect and never lawfully transferred.
The second suspect, 78-year-old Inky Mark, was arrested and released from custody with conditions. Mark was mayor of Dauphin before serving 13 years as the MP for Dauphin Swan River. He's facing more than a dozen charges, including firearm trafficking, possession of a restricted or prohibited weapon, and unsafe storage. A reminder, those charges have not been tested in court. Peter Nygard was supposed to stand trial today in Montreal on sex-related charges. Instead, the former fashion mogul, who's now 84 years old, unexpectedly took a plea deal, and the judge found him guilty on all counts. Matt Grillo has the story.
Monday was supposed to be the first day of Peter Nygard's trial on charges of sexual assault and confinement. Nygard's lawyer did not present any evidence in his defense. The judge then found him guilty on both counts.
A declaration of guilt is always a victory.
The prosecution explained the assault took place in the late 90s in Nygard's penthouse in Montreal. The victim was 18 years old at the time, an aspiring model who met with Nygard to discuss work opportunities. Nygard once led a woman's fashion empire. He was previously convicted in Toronto of sexual assault and sentenced to 11 years in prison in 2023. He has not been given a sentence in this Montreal case.
I can tell you that I presented the Crown with some significant evidence last week that would have undermined their case significantly, and that the sentence will reflect that.
There are no perfect cases. I was ready to proceed, which means that I was convinced that I was able to obtain a conviction in this file.
Nygard is facing extradition to the U.S. on similar charges. His lawyer says Nygard is dealing with health issues.
I'm hopeful to make contact with the authorities in the United States and to discuss the viability of their prosecution and to see if they actually do intend to extradite Mr. Nygard or what their intentions are with him.
Nygard's lawyer says her client is eligible for parole later this year. The next hearing in the Montreal matter is set for October 2nd. Matt Grillo, CTV News.
The number of workplace injuries in Manitoba caused by violence is on the rise, according to a new report. The study, called Ending Manitoba's Workplace Violence Epidemic, was conducted by the Manitoba Federation of Labor. Now, according to the report, which contains data from the Workers' Compensation Board, the number of workplace injuries caused by violence has more than tripled between 2015 and last year. Now, this increase includes a 20% jump in the last 2 years alone. The report contains 10 recommendations to better protect workers, including implementing a province-wide workplace prevention strategy. It also recommends funding safe staffing levels in sectors like healthcare, education, and emergency response.
These statistics are damning. It is up to us, it is up to the unions, and it's up to the people in the society to say, we can't take this, we're going to stop it.
The findings also include interviews with 38 workers who provided insight into the scope of the issue. 10 occupations accounted for nearly 80% of all time-lost workplace injuries last year. Some of those occupations include home support workers, nurses, bus drivers, security guards, and early childhood educators. The report also found women are disproportionately affected by workplace violence at 60% of all time-lost workplace violence injuries. It also noted that 25% of the workforce is not covered by WCB, and therefore some statistics might actually be higher than recorded. There are calls for security overhauls after a deadly shooting at a Toronto street festival.
We will not let reckless criminals stop Toronto's tradition of outdoor street festivals.
The city's mayor vows to persevere as the police chief calls to beef up firearm legislation. We'll have that story when we return. Markets, crude oil added $6.73. The loonie closed flat. Gold futures plunged $108. The TSX lost 52 points. The Dow Jones fell by 138 points, and the Nasdaq dropped 408 points. The shooting at the Salsa on St. Clair has raised new concerns about crowd control and also renewed the national debate over illegal firearms. At the media event today, Toronto's police chief urgently called for federal reforms. CTV's Judy Trin explains.
Gunfire at a Toronto salsa festival, sending crowds running for cover. 2 people shot dead, 5 others injured. The mayor of Canada's biggest city is vowing the summer tradition will continue.
We will not let reckless criminals stop Toronto's tradition of outdoor street festivals.
There were an estimated 13,000 people at the festival, including families with children. For people to continue attending these events, analysts say the public could demand a bigger police presence.
We can expect that there will be more tolerance for the police to use more of the techniques that private security uses in private venues, like things like using metal detectors or increased use of CCTV cameras and whatnot.
The Conservatives are blaming the brazen gun violence on the Liberal government and years of lax sentencing.
If you're a violent repeat offender, especially a gun offender, you should be removed from society for a very long time. And that will create the deterrence necessary to prevent gun violence.
Under pressure, the Liberals have made more than 80 changes to the criminal code to tighten bail and sentencing for repeat offenders.
Gang violence, tougher sentencing in around that. We really have tightened up the criminal code. We just got that through Parliament and it's been signed off.
Toronto's police chief wants a new law to protect from guns being fired in public spaces.
When someone is shot and killed in a congregate setting, whether it's a stray bullet or because someone started a fight and pulled a gun, such offenses should be classified as first-degree murder.
Toronto's mayor is also calling for more cooperation between Canadian and American law enforcement to ensure that guns are not being smuggled into Canada. Statistics show that nearly half of all guns seized by police in Canada are from the U.S. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
To the latest in the Middle East, Donald Trump says the United States is reinstating its blockade of Iranian shipping in the Gulf. The U.S. president also insists American forces will ensure the Strait of Hormuz will remain open, and the U.S. will be reimbursed 20% on all cargo shipped. But Iran says the U.S. will not be allowed to intervene and has no role in determining the future of the waterway. The two sides exchanged more missile and drone attacks after Tehran announced on the weekend that it was closing the strait. The resumption of the American blockade of all Iranian ports and coastal areas is set for 3 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. The torrential rains and flooding in southeastern Bangladesh have killed at least 54 people. And more than 1 million people have been stranded. Many people say that help has been too slow to arrive, with villages still submerged in waist-deep water. And there is major flooding in parts of northeastern China. Cars can be seen being washed away. Now, the floods came after a powerful typhoon made landfall. Canada is expected to join a new initiative to deliver $1 billion in aid to help the Gaza Strip recover from the war. The coastal enclave remains in ruins, more than 2.5 years of fighting between Israel and Hamas. The conflict began after the October 2023 attack on Israel by the militant group. Today, the European Commission and more than a dozen countries launched a plan to support such projects as restoring water and sanitation, removing debris, and reestablishing health systems. Nearly the entire population of 2 million people have been displaced. A fragile ceasefire has been in place since last October. The UN has estimated the cost of rebuilding Gaza at around $70 billion. It's the end of an era in a community northeast of Winnipeg. The grain elevator in Lebo is coming down. The elevator has stood since 1946. A spokesperson for Greenwald Colony, which recently bought the property and elevator from the RM of St. Clements, says they'll salvage whatever they can, such as metal and timber. But they say much of the building was rotted out and would cost close to $1 million to fix. They say they have not yet made a decision on what to do with the location. A new vision for a St. James era landmark with a nod to the past.
When we go back to the 1829, 1830, 1831, and we look at actually who Cuthbert Grant was, he was a community leader and he brought the people together. And that's exactly what we're doing again today.
The St. James Assiniboia Pioneer Association unveiled its plan to rebuild and reimagine the Grant's old mill site over the weekend. The historic replica structure has been closed for the past 2 years due to significant structural concerns. The 10-year plan for the park includes a refurbished mill, a Métis Veterans Memorial, and an amphitheater and festival space to showcase cultural and community programming. It'll also have an interpretive center.
And with the interpretive building, it will be open 12 months out of the year. It will house some of the artifacts of the mill, as well as provide a space for community groups.
The center will also have a cafe and a market for local artisans. The price tag for the restoration work has jumped to $850,000, which the association is actively working to fundraise and secure donations to cover. They hope to reopen the mill to the public in 2028.
It's great. I mean, I've been coming here since I was a teenager myself.
Come for the beach, stay for the retro arcade games. Coming up next, where a new generation of pinball wizards are being born, all thanks to the reopening of the town's beloved arcade.
The mercury is dropping here in Winnipeg, but not by a whole lot. We are going to be continuing to feel very hot temperatures. On actually the weekend, it could get as hot as 29 degrees Celsius on Saturday. We're really hovering around a high of 28 degrees Celsius throughout the week. But temperatures continue to be hot elsewhere and will get even hotter. We'll chat more about that still to come in your complete Skywatch forecast.
The Pride of Winkler is headed to Major League Baseball's All-Star Game.
Peters crossed to right field. It's gone.
Tristan Peters is having a heck of a rookie season for the Chicago White Sox. The outfielder is hitting .301 with 6 home runs and 36 RBIs in his first full season in the bigs. And on Friday, Peters became the second Canadian ever to hit for the cycle. The Winkler native will suit up for the American League All-Stars on Tuesday night. The Winnipeg Jets have inked their 2026 first-round draft pick. On Monday, the club announced it signed Vigo Bjork to a 3-year entry-level contract. They took the center 8th overall in the NHL draft last month. Bjork scored 6 goals and added 9 assists in the Swedish Hockey League last season. He also played a prominent role for Team Sweden at both the World Juniors and World Championships. The Jets' training camp opens on September 17th. Grab your quarters and loonies if you're headed to Winnipeg Beach. The return of a beloved community arcade is welcoming dozens of people back to the machines they grew up on. CTV's Joseph Bernacki reports.
Not all the fun is outside at Winnipeg Beach. Inside the Playland Arcade, players of all ages are at the air hockey table. A generational tilt is on full display.
I beat him 7-3.
To an 8-year-old grandson. It's great. I mean, I've been coming here since I was a teenager myself.
Kyler Johnson and his grandpa Scott Paluk enjoy the nostalgia of Playland while visiting Winnipeg Beach. More than 10 vintage arcade games are available, but you'll need to bring your quarters and loonies to play. Playland's owners say a nearly 70-year-old coin-operated relic is a favorite.
I think the biggest surprise has been the mechanical horse from 1957. Their faces light up when they're on it. It's really nice, and all we had to do on that one was dust it off and plug it in.
Tyler Benny and Melanie McFarland took possession in June 2025 and spent more than a year renovating the historic space. The couple reopened Playland on Canada Day. Manitoba Historical Society says the original building started in 1939 as a business to provide fast food and entertainment.
We wanted to change a whole bunch of things in our life, move out of the city, live by the water, everything, and then this place was for sale. We thought, well, let's inquire, and then before we knew it, we owned the building. And here we are a year later. I don't know, it's been really wild.
There's no shortage of players fishing for a fight on the joysticks of this classic title as the sounds of the arcade reverberate off the walls.
The fighting one is pretty cool because I watch my brothers fight all the time, and it's just like, yeah. I just really like beating Blair. Yeah, she beats me.
A new pinball machine donated to the arcade from the record store in town will be installed this week. The couple says they are overwhelmed with support from the beachside community. They point to a friendly business owner operating a mobile lemonade stand who drove by one day.
I was working on a machine over here, and he comes and hands Mel a lemonade, and
just says, like, thanks for opening Playland again. Yeah. This one's on me.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg Beach.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
CTV's Taylor Brock has your complete Skywatch weather forecast. And with all this heat, probably a nice day to be at the beach. But for those of us here in the city, boy, we are hoping that this heat wave will come to an end soon.
Well, you can hope, but, well, as you can see, heat is remaining not just here in Winnipeg, but a little further north as well. I'll move to the side here so we can get a good picture of what's going on. So these areas in orange, which have been in orange since Friday, are because of an extreme heat warning. That includes areas like Dauphin and Winnipeg, Brandon as well. This warning is expected to end because we are hopefully seeing the worst of the heat. That doesn't mean all the heat is leaving. It's still going to be quite hot, even in the high 20s throughout the week. We'll chat about that in a second. I do want to point out what's going on further north. Now it's in yellow right now, but it's going to be quite hot over the next couple of days, with temperatures even reaching the 30°C mark, with overnight lows around 18 degrees for much of this area. It is actually expected to continue until Wednesday. So with that extreme heat up north, make sure you are paying attention to how you're feeling when you're outside, because as us here in Winnipeg, we experienced a lot of heat yesterday and today. So much heat actually that on Sunday yesterday it reached a high of 35°C. Felt more like 48 here in Winnipeg. Just a couple of hours ago we reached a high of 34, feeling more like 46. So not as hot as it was yesterday, but still really hot. And we're not going to expect rain to cool us down anytime soon. Looking across northern Manitoba tonight, there is a chance of rain, even a thunderstorm. We could see that here in southern Manitoba as well. It's just really not looking as likely. That includes for folks actually also in northwestern Ontario. A bit of a better risk for you folks as that storm moves through your path overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Now, taking a look over the next couple of days, though, we are mostly going to be expecting cloud coverage as this system here pulls right on in. We're going to be having a bit of a cloudier day actually tomorrow, though lots of sunshine on the weekend as we continue to feel the heat. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Right now, we'll take a look at what's happening tonight. An expected low of 20 degrees here with that chance of thunderstorm that we talked about just a second ago. Tomorrow morning, we'll start off mainly sunny and 22 degrees. However, it's going to jump right up to 29 for us in the afternoon with a mostly sunny sky. And as mentioned, throughout the province, we are going to be seeing potentially some thunderstorms tonight, including in Thompson. But tomorrow, that'll be bright and sunny with a high of 26 degrees. Not bad for a city that sometimes snows in August. Taking a look a little to the west, we are seeing places like Norway House and the Pod, highs of about 27, 28 as well over the next couple of days. And as you can see in Brandon tonight, that chance of a thunderstorm with a high of 28 degrees. And moving over to here in Winnipeg, again, a lower chance of a thunderstorm, high of 27 degrees tomorrow. Actually, cloudiest here in the Red River Valley with a mix throughout the area tomorrow. And as we take a look over in Ontario, we will actually be seeing a mostly cloudy night tonight. Hot though with a high of 32 degrees tomorrow in Fort Francis. Taking a look at our Skywatch pick of the day. This first one comes to us from Riding Mountain National Park. Yes, that is a moose trying to cool down. I'm sure that's a familiar feeling for many folks. And this next one is from Hecla, thanks to Cheryl, of this bumblebee really enjoying the flowers. You can send your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
There were tributes today for Senator Lindsey Graham. The close ally of Donald Trump died suddenly over the weekend. Christiane Cordero has more.
Today, flowers and condolences frame Senator Lindsey Graham's office on Capitol Hill. His seat in the Senate chamber is vacant for the first time since 2003. And this afternoon, South Carolina's governor appointed Graham's sister, Darlene, to serve the remaining 6 months of his term.
Lindsey has always been there for me. And now I will be there for him.
A special primary election on August 11th will decide who will replace Graham as the Republican nominee for Senate, a term set to begin in January. On Capitol Hill today, colleagues are remembering the senator as quick-witted and effective, who loved political debate.
Senator Graham was a very forceful and quick-witted presence in every room that he entered. His warm nature made everyone his friend, and I feel blessed to be one of them.
The halls of the Senate already feel empty without him. And I know I'm not alone in that feeling.
He was also seen as a war hawk, supporting military action in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran. Graham's final trip was to Ukraine, returning hours before he died. He served as a crucial link between Presidents Zelensky and Trump.
When I get back to Washington, I'm going to go with Senator Blumenthal to the Republican and Democratic leader to see if we can find time to move this Russian sanctions package that would give tools to President Trump to help end this war.
President Trump today remembered Graham as fiercely loyal and a friend. Washington, D.C. EMS responded to Graham's home Saturday night, and his preliminary cause of death is believed to be related to a tear in his aorta. Graham died 2 days after his 71st birthday. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
We depend on them for many of the foods that we eat. And now Manitoba's humble honeybee is facing a new threat in the form of a tiny parasite. What it does and what beekeepers need to know when we return. Many fruits and vegetables that we eat depend on an army of workers who tirelessly ensure the crops are pollinated each season. Now, the workers I'm talking about are bees, and they're under threat from a tiny predator, a parasite called the Varroa destructor. Joining me now to discuss this parasite and its impact on bees is Dr. Nuria Morfin, an assistant professor in entomology and the head of the University of Manitoba Honeybee Lab. Dr. Morfin, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, hello, thank you so much, and thanks for the invitation. Thanks for having me.
So what can you tell us about this parasite, the Varroa destructor? Does it kill the bee directly?
Well, Varroa destructor is a very interesting parasite. It's like having a teeth. So this parasite, it feeds on the hemolymph, which is the blood of the bees, and their fat body. So that happens when the bees are developing, when they are going through larva, pupa, and their adult stage. And also they feed when the bees emerge from their cells and become adults. So this parasite causes a lot of issues, including suppression of the bee's immune system. That means that the bees that have this parasite cannot defend themselves against other diseases.
So if the mite is weakening the bee's immune system, is there anything that beekeepers can do to strengthen it?
Yeah, well, that's what we're working on. So this Honeybee Lab, we're working on understanding how this interaction between Varroa mites and the host, which are the honeybees, Apis mellifera, how that works, and ways of supporting the immune system of bees. One of the main things that beekeepers do is keep Varroa mites under control, but that is quite challenging. So we're looking at different aspects to understand the role of Varroa mites, other pathogens that are involved in this complex relationship, and honeybees, and ways to stimulate the honeybee immune system and help them defend themselves against these diseases.
Now, are we talking about like probiotics, for example? I mean, are there any medications that you can give bees?
There are medications that we can give to knock down the levels of mites, but we are looking for other types of ideas. For example, these Varroa mites, they vector deformed wing virus, which is a very deadly or a disease of concern. So I have a master's student, Danica Strelaev. She is working on a deformed wing virus bee vaccine, for example.
Well, we know those bees are responsible for billions of dollars in business, so very important to keep them healthy. Thank you so much for making time to speak with us today about this.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
We've been experiencing some intense heat here in Manitoba, and it's no secret that the heat puts a strain on the body, but it also burdens the brain.
When we feel hot, we are physically uncomfortable, and it makes it much more difficult to regulate emotions, feel calm, patient, and make decisions.
Psychologist Susan Albers with the Cleveland Clinic says that can make a person feel stressed, irritable, sad, depressed, and anxious.
Heat mimics anxiety. Symptoms such as sweating, racing heart, dizziness. These are common to being overheated and anxious, and your brain can mistake the two.
Albers says that regulating your body temperature can help you feel calmer. She says to drink cool water throughout the day. Don't wait until you're thirsty. You can also stay hydrated with water-rich foods like frozen grapes, popsicles, or cucumbers, and find ways to get good quality sleep, even on hot nights. Take a cool shower before bed and use fans or blackout curtains. A new study shows soccer potentially could affect long-term brain health. It looks at retired professional players in midlife using questionnaires, clinical assessments, and brain scans. The researchers say they found no impacts on cognition, but they do say that participants did have lower gray matter in certain brain regions, as compared with people who hadn't played contact sports. The regions include those affecting memory, decision-making, attention, and emotional regulation. The participants also reveal higher levels of anxiety and depression and problems with thinking or decision-making. The lead author says the study shows correlation, not necessarily causation.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manuke and Koster Denture Clinic.
So everything that you know and love about the film comes, and then it just brings in all that incredible joy that musical theater has.
What? Like it's hard? Rainbow Stage's production of Legally Blonde is just around the corner, and we've got your sneak peek next.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Queen. It's a kind of magic.
Legally Blonde, the musical's run at Rainbow Stage kicks off in August. Today, we got a pink peek behind the scenes. Rehearsals officially started today, and the production team is still hard at work refining the sets for the musical adaptation. Artistic director Carson Natras says the show is already getting a lot of attention from the community and selling well. And for die-hard fans, it is everything you could hope to expect from Elwood's dazzling pink world.
It's everything that you expect. So everything that you know and love about the film comes, and then it just brings in all that incredible joy that musical theater has. The music is incredible. The dancing is incredible. The sets are extraordinary. It's an enormous show that will not disappoint.
Legally Blonde bends and snaps into action on August 13th and runs until the 30th. Ticket information can be found at Rainbow Stage's website. And some sad news out of Hollywood. We learned of the death of actor Sam Neill.
Having another adventure. It's a very privileged life I've had, I have to say.
Best known for his work in Jurassic Park, The Piano, and in Peaky Blinders, Sam Neill was known for being smoothly elegant, versatile, and extremely talented on screen. A statement on the actor's social media page says his death in Sydney, Australia was sudden and unexpected. In 2023, Sam Neill said he'd been diagnosed with cancer, though his family statement says he was cancer-free when he died and didn't specify his cause of death. Sam Neill was 78 years old. Some stormy seas for Disney's latest live-action remake at the weekend box office.
The ocean chose me for a reason, and it chose you too.
Moana opened to $43 million US in ticket sales across North America. Compare that to the reported production costs of $250 million. Meanwhile, last weekend's #1 Minions and Monsters slipped to second with $20.5 million, and Toy Story 5 is still going strong with $18.5 million for the weekend. And your Monday primetime lineup kicks off with the quiz with balls at 7. Then catch American Ninja Warrior at 8. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
You'll barely believe it, and neither could these bewildered golfers, where this bear made off with a set of clubs still to come.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
Here in downtown Winnipeg, temperatures reached a high of 34 degrees. Throughout the week, temperatures will hover around 28 degrees Celsius.
You never know what kind of hazards that you'll face on a Metro Vancouver golf course. Take a look at that. A golfer captured video of a bear running off with a golf bag over the weekend. It happened at the Golden Eagle Golf Club in Pitt Meadows, east of Vancouver. And I can tell you, I love my golf bag, but if a bear wants it, it can have it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually the golfer's wife dressed up as a bear.
Trying to keep him off the golf course.
Yes, exactly.
Well, they can have it. That's very scary. We will be back at 11:30. Golf clubs intact. Hope you can join us then.